Welcome everyone. Good morning. It's a morning here. It's a morning somewhere and it's morning here. Good morning everyone. My name is Agent P and this is
Thomas.
uh
Hi.
hi. We'll be playing Follow Me Down, which is a two-player GM-less game which is inspired by the legend of Orpheus and Eurydice. And it takes place the majority of it takes place in the Greek underworld. Um, I'll be playing Eurydice. Thomas will be playing Orpheus. Do you want to give yourself a quick intro of yourself and the character you're playing?
Okay. I'm going first then because you haven't really introduced yourself. Yeah, hi, I'm Thomas, pronouns he, him. I write about games a lot. I have a newsletter called the Indie RPG Newsletter, which you can find at ttrpg.substack.com. Otherwise, yeah, I like Greek mythology. When I was a kid, I definitely pronounced it Eurydice. I think that's a learning experience. When you grow up and you're like, all these Greek names are not pronounced like how I thought they were. But you live and learn. I'm excited to play this. I'm a I'm a fan of Agent P here, who is my GM for a game of Pasión de las Pasiones, and she's amazing. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. My name is Agent P. I use she, they pronouns. I've been playing TTRPGs since like 2020, and I've only dipped my toes into DMing about a year and a half ago. I love running non-D&D games. I feel like there's a lot of good non-D&D games out there, and they're everything that I've tried out, they're all so fabulous. You can catch me running these kind of games on the Daisies and Dragons server. But other than that, I'll be playing Eurydice, who's just dead. You know, just freshly dead. But how this game works is we begin with a prelude. So we give you guys a refresher of the legend of Orpheus and Eurydice. And then we move on to books where each of us takes turns playing our characters and the other player plays as the fates, leading our partner, through the underworld, through their journey, through different parts of the underworld. And at the end, we go through this gauntlet called the Gauntlet of Hope and Regret, where we determine what happens, what's the outcome of the game. So, fun stuff. Throughout the journey, the characters can take harm. And the more harm a character takes, the more difficult it is to remember positive memories. And these positive memories come into play during the gauntlet. So the more positive memories you have, the better the outcome. So ideally, you would want less harm. Viewers, you guys can act as the fates as well. You can either aid or hinder our journey by donating. So for every $5 donation, the player of your choice can, heal their harm so they have more chance of having a better outcome. And for every $10 donation, the player of your choice receives harm, which means less positive memories, which means less chance of a good outcome. So you guys can determine that as well. And I think with that, we can move on to the prelude.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think would be good to mention the designer's name. This is a game designed by, I'm not sure how to pronounce this.
I think it's Joey Martin.
Okay, yeah. If it's not, you feel free to send assassins to my house and kill me. It's nothing less than I deserve. So, but yeah, it's a really cool game. I'm excited to play. Cool.
Yep.
Take us into the prelude.
The artwork is by I follow the Instagram artist, the artist who does it. I think their at is Vetyr, Vetyr.
Oh, okay.
Their art is always amazing. They do all their art is very ethereal, and it's just beautiful to look at. Yeah, so I think we can move on to the prelude after that.
Cool. Yeah.
So, no matter the time, no matter the place, it always begins in celebration and always ends in tragedy. But maybe not this time. Legend has it that Orpheus was the son of Apollo and the muse Calliope. He was unnaturally gifted in music and poetry, and neither man nor god nor beast could resist the beauty of his songs. It was said that he could captivate the leaves on the trees, the rocks in the earth, and even call upon winds and rivers to change their course. Eurydice was a woman of exceptional grace and generosity, who Orpheus wooed with his song. She was beloved by all who knew her and known for her kind words and deeds. She was charmed by Orpheus, and the two were soon married, the celebration culminating in a grand wedding feast. Wine flowed, bonfires burned, and music filled the air as guests ate and drank, sang and danced, and made merry from dusk till dawn. During the celebration, Orpheus lost sight of his bride, and while she cavorted with nymphs in a joyful dance, it was during this ecstatic revel that Eurydice trod upon a viper and was poisoned.
It was not until the next morning that Orpheus discovered his bride was dead. He wept bitterly for the loss of their future together and vowed that he would venture into the underworld to beg Hades and Persephone, the king and queen of the dead, for Eurydice's return. Orpheus traveled to the gates of the underworld and used the power of his music and poetry to gain entry and to charm all who dwelt there. After overcoming many difficult challenges, he made his way to the throne room to beg an audience with Hades and Persephone. There he played a song so sad and lovely he was able to bring Hades, the implacable king of the dead, to tears. Moved to compassion, Hades offered Orpheus and Eurydice a deal. Eurydice would be allowed to return to the mortal realm on the following conditions. She could follow Orpheus through the underworld while he walked ahead, but the two could neither speak nor touch, and Orpheus could not look to see if Eurydice was truly there until they had both crossed the threshold back into the living world. Orpheus and Eurydice agreed to Hades' terms and began the difficult passage out of the underworld. It was a long and challenging journey, but Eurydice followed Orpheus faithfully, never losing sight of her husband's shadowy figure, regardless of the distance between them. Orpheus ascended step by step out of the darkness until the light of day blazed brightly ahead. Yet, just as Orpheus had fully crossed into the light of the living world, he turned to look back at his love, not realizing Eurydice had not yet crossed the threshold and remained shadowed in the darkness of the underworld. In an instant, Eurydice vanished, returning to her place among the dead, lost to Orpheus forever. Orpheus, knowing he would never again be reunited with Eurydice, was left to wander the world in desolation and solitude, endlessly singing of the love he had once had and lost. His story and Eurydice's has been told time and time again of the distance some will go for love and how sometimes the distance isn't what matters.
Ooh. So that was the prelude, little refresher on the legend, and we'll be moving on to books. Before that, so the game allows us to create our own story of Eurydice and Orpheus and the relationship that the two have and how Eurydice's death came about. And I think that's a little important for our game today. So I think I would like to just give a little background as to how Eurydice died in this version. Um, in this version of the legend, Eurydice and Orpheus were out on a picnic that was put together by Orpheus. And as they were enjoying their time, eating, drinking, a rival artist, a rival musician who envied Orpheus and who had a thing for Eurydice, shot at Orpheus. But Orpheus, being blessed by Aphrodite, was able to dodge the arrow, or like the arrow like missed Orpheus and it shot Eurydice instead. So once that happened, Orpheus tried to save Eurydice but couldn't. And yeah, I think that's all there is. If there's anything else, do you want to add anything else to that?
No.
No? All right. Okay, so this is, we move on to books now, where I will start as playing the Fates, and I will be guiding Orpheus through his journey into the underworld, and then we will alternate, where Thomas plays the Fates, and I play Eurydice, and I'm guided through the underworld by the Fates. So,
Yeah.
morning has dawned, and with it, the aftermath of the celebration. Looking upon the colorful detritus, the garlands flapping in the breeze, the empty bottles winking in the sun, the tumbled cups and overturned chairs, you feel no joy. While you sang and danced, a tragedy occurred. You awoke to a world without Eurydice. The one that you love is gone. You know deep in your soul, as sure as the sound of your own heart, that this isn't the end of the story. You will find the one that you love, and you will bring them home. They will live again. Even the gods cannot ignore the depth of your grief and the power of your love. You steady yourself and you begin to walk. So you walk down this road and you don't know where exactly you're going. You just know that in your heart you're like, okay, I have to go down this certain path. And as you do, the forest kind of opens up and has like, you feel like this cold energy and air flowing out, and you're like, oh, you recognize the energy of the underworld, and you follow that because that is where you will find your love, your Eurydice. So you go in, and as you cross the threshold, you see other denizens of the underworld also following you in, who are also on this path that will eventually lead to the River Styx, to Charon, to the shores. As you walk down, you immediately you feel like this sense of like hunger. Like you haven't. It could also be described as emptiness. You can't really discern whether it's just like your heart longing for Eurydice and just mourning her loss, or if it's like genuine hunger. And it grips your very soul. I need you to make a passion roll.
Okay. My passion is, I think, -1. So
Your passion is 0.
it's 0. Okay. Cool. I will roll my dice.
Oh my god, dice. I forgot dice. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Okay. So I rolled a 9.
A 9. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see what this says. A 9? Okay, okay. That passes. That's good. It's a good thing. So you're able to like shake off this feeling, and kind of chalk it up to you're in a realm that isn't your own, and you march on. And as you do, you're able to like think about what happened, and you realize, Eurydice would talk so much about, all the sorts of herbs that she grew in on her farm, and what helped, what ailment, and you realize, like, you could have saved her. You could have picked the herb that saved her from the wound of the arrow, but instead you ended up running into the village, which deep down you knew that it wouldn't have mattered. Even if you had reached it on time, they wouldn't have known what to do. And you start hearing these whispers of like, you should have done better. Now she's gone. She's never coming back. Whispers that this journey that you're on is futile, and that what you could have done, like what you can do right now, is so much little than what you could have done earlier.
Yeah. I think Orpheus is weighed down by the fact that, I think he agrees with all of that. I think it's just
you hear the voices that say that grow louder as you keep walking down this path.
Yeah. And I think as he walks, he's kind of like, again, under his own breath, saying something like, you can't speak louder than the words that echo in my own heart. And so far, you say nothing that I have not said to myself already.
You hear these voices say back, but we are the voices in your heart.
Then come, walk with me.
Oh, okay. So you see these beings made of like wispy smoke, and you recognize them as the Algia, who are the gods and goddesses of grief, sorrow, and distress, who walk with you. And as they walk with you, you feel yourself like kind of crumbling under the weight of like what they're doing to you, and they're essentially amplifying everything that you're feeling, the grief that you're feeling, the guilt that you're feeling. Every negative emotion is amplified, and you invited them to walk with you. Can you make a roll, a pathos roll, to see if you're able to muscle through it? This has a high DC, by the way. This does not have the normal DC, which would be like a 10.
Yeah, I'm happy to say that I've rolled a 4, and yeah.
Oh, we have our first harm. Great.
Yeah.
So you invited these beings to walk with you, and as you did, like, your feelings kind of just well up inside of you, and you, again, it's just like you're hitting into a brick wall at full force, and you break down, you fall to your knees, and you break down, crying, lamenting over losing Eurydice, lamenting over your foolishness, your the way you like never really listened to her. You know, I would say you would even like curse Aphrodite's blessing that you had, just like, why?
Yeah.
It should have been me kind of situation. So you do take 1 harm down the path.
That sounds good. So far, so well deserved. I think I'm going to turn to the Algia. Is that
Yep.
what you said? Yeah. And I'm going to be like, please, I deserve this, but I need to go on. Take your hand off my back for 1 second. Let me pick myself up. Let me go and meet the king and queen of the underworld, and then you can continue tormenting me.
They immediately, like, they kind of disappear, but like a voice in your head, like their voice in your head, kind of echoes, we will be with you throughout your journey. Do not be unassuming, for we will get you when you least expect it.
Okay.
And they disappear. The feeling, like the feeling returns to like normal grief, or like base level grief and sorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I pick myself up. So Orpheus is very much carrying his instrument, which I guess traditionally is a lyre of some sort, and he has this long hair, and the hair kind of tends to reflect his emotional state, and when he performs it, it it aids his performance because it plays along with the music and stuff like that. It looks it gives them a stage presence that other people can only aspire to. So yeah, in this moment, I think the hair is just like feels heavy. It's kind of
Yeah.
sagging down to the ground and kind of holding him back as he sort of lifts his head up and trudges on. I think he might be singing to himself some kind of sad song, some kind of funeral dirge as he walks forward.
As
Yeah,
you
kind of
sing,
grateful
as you
for them
sing
to
this,
listen to him.
as you sing this funeral like song, the other spirits who are walking with you, kind of they seem to perk up a little. Like, oh, someone's mourning. Maybe not for us, but like it's like a reminder to like those they left behind. And they feel a little bit better walking into the underworld with you. So if
Oh,
you do end up asking for help, they might just help you.
interesting. Okay. Um, yeah, I think if we're all walking together and I'm feeling some kind of response from them, I would love to stir their heart, which is a move.
Yeah.
And I would love to get them to sing along. And I'd love to make an impression as I walk through this that
Ooh.
something out of the ordinary is happening.
Okay. Roll for stir your heart, which I think is what, passion?
With pathos, which is,
With
I think,
pathos.
yeah, this is 0. So, oh no, pathos is +1 for me. Great.
Yeah, pathos is +1 for you.
Yeah, I'm happy. That is an 8, and on an 8, my voice captivates them, offering me an opportunity. What's that? Well, what opportunity?
It's just an opportunity that you can like maybe gain their favor.
Okay.
So you sing and you see kind of some of them kind of like start to like either fall back or like float quicker to just be around you or like form a little group around you, almost kind of like in a protective way. And they seem to be warding off the other feelings that you are getting, like that hunger that you felt earlier on when you first entered. And as your song kind of like wanes off, they also again disperse. One of them looks at you and gives you like a thank you kind of head nod, and another one gives you like a pat on your back that you don't quite feel, but it's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
And on that note, I'm gonna ask you for another passion roll.
Okay. You're gonna let me know what I'm rolling for later.
It's again for this feeling of hunger and emptiness that you are feeling, that you might feel again.
Yeah. That is 5.
Oh no. Orpheus taking harm like nobody's business. So again, yes, you do take harm here. So as soon as they kind of like disperse, like the group disperses, it's like that feeling comes back with like the force is just like better, like, oh, your protective circle is gone, so I will hurt you now. And you keel over and you kind of just you keel over, you clutch your stomach because again you don't know this feeling, you can't really quite place it. You just know that it's not human, or like it doesn't feel like a human emotion or like feeling that you're feeling, and it's this feeling like you're getting eaten out from the inside. Just everything on the inside is just crinkling together, and that's what's causing this pain. And you take 1 harm. And
I think that the pain gets me to kind of lash out a little bit. I think I turn my face up to this dark underworld, and I think I yell out in anger at Hades, and I say, "Is this what it feels like, King of the underworld? Is this what your heart is like? Is that what I'm feeling? Is this how you feel every day?" And I mean, yeah, I don't expect an answer, but
It's just very, very heavy. You live like this, bro. Vibes.
clean your room. No.
Go to therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Orpheus picks himself up and kind of dragging his feet a little bit, is going to keep trudging onward.
Nice. Okay. You come towards like a fork in the road, and in the middle of like the fork, you see like this tree. This I wouldn't say glowing, but it is brighter than your surroundings, and it has like uh these golden apples that are like hanging from the tree. But you also see like spirits kind of lounging on the tree. Um, and they seem to be like just conversing with each other, not really paying attention to the other denizens of the underworld, who are, it seems to you, at random choosing whichever path. You choose this path or that path. It doesn't, there's no like signboards, there's nothing indicating that this place leads to this place or that place leads to that place. All you know as a mortal is that eventually, doesn't matter what path you take, eventually, this is true even in the underworld and in life as well, doesn't matter which path you take, eventually you will end up at the banks of the river Styx. You will have to pay your dues to Charon and, cross over.
Yeah. I think given that I have this otherworldly hunger in my heart, and even though I don't think it will help, I think I will try to pluck one of these golden apples. And,
Okay. Interesting.
yeah.
Good.
Wow. Okay.
um,
Yeah.
you step towards the tree, and immediately like the spirits on the tree take notice of you, and they start like leaving their perches, and they like concentrate as to like where you're trying to approach the tree from. And they ask you, who is this? How are you here? A mortal amongst the dead?
I go to meet your king. I go to meet Hades and Persephone, and to beg them for a request.
And what is that request?
If I tell you, will you hurt me or harm me?
Oh, there is no price to pay to tell. We welcome any stories of the world above. We rarely get stories down here. I lost your voice. I can't hear your voice anymore. Oh, I think I have it again. What? Say
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think it might have been on my side. He says, "You linger here just to hear stories. You don't want to move on to the Styx."
You mistake us for denizens of the underworld? Oh, you clearly have not heard of us. We are protectors of this tree. Those who come near it, we usually tear to shreds. But
Then the thing.
you are mortal, which we do not understand. What is your story?
Then Orpheus will pick up the lyre, and I think the way this is going to go is that he has been composing a song in his head this whole time that he is going to sing to Hades and Persephone, right? Like he's going to put his feelings into words, into music, and all of that. And he's been working on it, but he's only got the first verse so far, right? And he's only got so much of it. So I think he'll sing the bit that he has, and he will just tell them the first part, which is about how he and Eurydice first met, and and he'll hope, and he'll say, and he'll say, if you can give me one of your apples, then, because if you protect it, it must be a prize worth protecting. I shall stop on my way back and sing you the rest.
Ooh. Leaving them on a cliffhanger, quite literally. Ooh.
Yeah.
Can you roll what would this be?
Yeah.
Roll a Numa. Give me a Numa roll.
Okay.
We haven't had a Numa roll.
Yeah. Numa is my charisma. It's my best.
It's your manipulation. It's your charm. It's deceit.
Yeah. I'm not deceiving them. Am I? Maybe I am, actually. Maybe I'm not flying to stop, but anyway, we'll see.
Maybe there's another pat out and it won't come back.
Yeah. I think that's an 8.
Oh, that's good. So as you sing to them, they kind of like, they close their eyes. Like, it's kind of like the Orpheus effect where, they just want to, they only want to like listen to the music. They want to be immersed in it. They don't really want any other external factors interfering with this beautiful melody, right? So as they have their eyes closed, you kind of like reach up to like take an apple, and as you do, one of them unexpectedly, like like while you're playing and you're reaching up, you hit the wrong string on the lyre. So one of them opens like their eyes and like sees what you're trying to do, and you're able to like just grab like a branch rather than the fruit. You're just able to grab a branch of the tree before they like lunge at you, and you like duck out of the way.
Okay.
After that, like the spirits kind of like hiss at you, and you're kind of forced to like step back into the forked road. Which path are you
I need
taking?
to step away for 1 second.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
All right. Yeah.
No worries. While Orpheus is gone, how is chat doing on this lovely Sunday morning or Saturday night or Saturday wee hours? Chat is mostly asleep. Oh, okay, great. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, damn. I was going to give up secret information, but Orpheus is back.
Sorry. Yeah, where were we?
You step back onto the forked road. Which path do you take? The one to the right of you or to the one to the left?
I will take the one to the left.
Okay. You walk down the path and you hear the whispers again of Galgia, just again like weighing on you and kind of taunting you, being like, your song couldn't even your song may have charmed the denizens of the underworld, But what's to say that that'll charm Hades and Persephone, the king and queen of the underworld?
Yeah, again, they're voicing the doubts that are obviously assailing me constantly, and I think I just kind of, again, to myself, it's like I have to try, and yeah, with that we'll keep yeah,
So
with the
you're
image
kind
of
of
Eurydice
in this
in
sense
his
you're like
mind.
kind of consoling yourself, yes?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Roll a pathos.
Oh, is that okay?
I
Uh,
tailored this so well, in my opinion.
all right. Yeah, pathos is +1. That's a 9.
That's a 9. Okay. Um, you still have those feelings of like uncertainty whether your song is good enough. And even the one that you sang for the spirits in the tree before that, you kind of like look back on the verse and you're like, wait, maybe this is not it. You start changing some things, and inside or like around you, you hear like this laughter from the Algia, having successfully kind of gotten into your head about your skills.
Yeah, yeah, maybe I'm not used to doubting myself, but with this is at least partially working. Yeah, and I keep going on, still kind of thinking of that second verse that I need. Yeah.
As you continue down this path, you kind of like come to like this wasteland. You see just like discarded items lying everywhere, probably by the dead who like carried other artifacts with them. You see like maybe like a jug. You see like pots and stuff like that. You see armor. Um, just things that people would have had from various walks in life kind of discarded because they don't need them anymore in the underworld. Here, they are, they're not alive, so they can't die again. So they don't need anything else. And you, oh, you start to wonder if maybe Eurydice left something here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm struck. My first thought when I see this kind of field of discarded possessions is that how banal and ordinary the things that people try to hold on to. I'm like, why would someone bring a
There's like
jug?
a brush, a
Yeah,
hairbrush.
yeah. Why would someone bring that? Why would they hold on to it so far and try to take it into the underworld? But then, as I think about this, I think about what's important to me, and it's just ordinary things, right? You attach some memory to them, and then they become something that can bring you comfort or become central to your identity. And then the thought strikes me, oh, maybe something Eurydice left behind could be found. So yeah, I will immediately start like kind of rummaging through everything. At some point, you're on my hands and knees as I try to look and stuff like that. Yeah.
I need you to roll a passion roll for that feeling of hunger and emptiness that you feel.
Ouch. Yeah, being a mortal in the underworld is hard.
Oh,
People don't talk.
yes.
People don't talk about it. That's an 8.
That's an 8. That's good. You're able to like kind of push it away as you like continue searching for them. You're like, oh, that's not even on your mind. Even your body kind of rejects the notion of that feeling. Like, no, I don't need this now.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some sense that I'm on the cusp of discovering something about her, right? Like finding something in that. I think that gives me a lot of strength. So, yeah, do I find something?
You don't find anything, but as you as you're like continuing to like look at things, start to look for anything that might that Eurydice might have discarded, you hear Eurydice's voice, and you kind of see her in the distance, like not too far away, maybe like like a 10 yards away. Kind of like you see her, you hear her call out your name, so you snap your head up, and you see her, and immediately you're like, oh my god, it's Eurydice. And she makes eye contact with you, but when she does, you notice her eyes are like completely like white. She's a spirit of the underworld. She appears as a spirit of the underworld, and her eyes are completely white. There's no irises, no pupils, nothing. And she looks at you and she goes, why didn't you save me?
My first thought is, what the fuck is a yard? I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm American.
My second thought is,
it's 3 meters.
No, it's okay.
It's 10 meters.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's 10 meters away.
No, I look back at the spirit, and even though I know it's not her, there's a sense of that I need to answer it honestly. And I say, I failed. I messed up. I meant to save. I meant to try to save you, and I couldn't. And I'm going to fix that now. That's what I'm here to do. I will save you.
You say this to Eurydice, and her face kind of contorts into like anger and retribution, and is like, it's too late to save me. Who's to say that you won't fail again?
I will do whatever it takes.
You didn't do that last time. You didn't do what it takes. You left me to die in your arms.
It's a mistake I won't make again.
I don't believe you. And she kind of like crosses her arms and like turns away.
I'll have to prove it to you. And he knows this is a spirit, so he's going to say that, and he's going to put a hand out. He's going to reach a hand out, and I think he's too scared to get to like any closer, I think. Mm-hmm. But he's going to put a hand out, and he's going to be like, just, you don't have to believe me, but will you have hope?
Do you touch the spirit, or you're just reaching out?
I'm reaching out. I think I'm too scared to touch it.
What was the question? Sorry, that you asked.
Yeah, maybe you don't believe in me, but will you at least hope with me?
The spirit looks at you, like, again, like, releases her arms, and is like, hope here in the underworld. You're a laugh. And the spirit kind of like disappears and then appears like behind you, and you hear the voice of Eurydice kind of reaching over to like and into your ear and says, why would I hope for anything with a lover like you?
And I think this is when I realized that, like, not only is this not Eurydice, but this is also like not what she would say. Like I think there's a sense of like a realization at this point that this is not even just an echo. This is like a perversion. Like this is somebody taking her form and kind of insulting it. Like she would not like Orpheus knows her heart, knows her temperament, and I think is going to turn around and uh, 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 like maybe swing with the lyre actually, like, and just try to dissipate the spirit and to just be like you're not her. I don't know what you are trying to do to me, but it will not work. And,
so you swing, it goes through the spirit, and again it dissipates, and it kind of like reapparates like a few feet like before you, and says, I may not be her, but I am what she thinks. I am the worst of what she thinks. And you are the worst of what she thinks.
Ouch. Oh, wow. Hmm.
As you're still thinking, the spirit is still gonna start like
It's just
still gonna
laying
say
into me.
things. It's like,
It's just...
you never loved her. If you did, she wouldn't be here right now. You wouldn't be here right now if you loved her, if you truly loved her and cared for her.
I think at this point, like, yeah, there's a sense of that, I think Orpheus is going to be like, if there is more to us than our worst, and I think he's going to like I think he's going to try to take the spirit into his arms and like kiss her.
Oh, so like again, as you touch, the spirit like dissipates and like reappears somewhere else, and says, there might be more to us, there might be more to you than the worst, but for Eurydice, all she sees right now is the worst.
I don't believe you.
You may not believe me, but it is what she thinks. She doesn't love you anymore. Do you even love her? Did you even love her? As this is happening, I'm gonna have you roll one last time for pathos, because grief, sorrow, and distress kind of see this as an opening to kind of just pierce your heart further.
Yeah. They're a real pain in the heart. Oh wow. Okay, that's a 10. So this is my
Okay.
Phew.
Yeah. So finally, you're able to like push the feelings of like distress away, but this the hurt that you feel from the spirit's words saying how you've never loved Eurydice before, and how could you think that she would love you back now after you've failed her so much. That still stings, but like it's not amplified by the Algia. And at this point, the Algia kind of like, you hear them kind of like dissipate in your mind, but the spirit is still going at you.
What do you want me to say?
Do you have nothing to say?
I have nothing to say.
Nothing.
Not to you.
Nothing to say nothing to prove anything of her life before death. Nothing to say of anything of your lives before you ruined it.
Why would I need to say any of that if you were really her? Why would I tell you about our life? I know it. She knows it. That's what we're holding on to. And that's how I know I don't need to tell you anything. It's just a cruel illusion, and you will have no effect on me.
You see the apparition kind of like put her head in her hand, like in a very like sarcastic way. It's like, if you couldn't prove your love here, what hopes do you have against Hades and Persephone?
If
Such
it's
a pity.
if it's proving my love, then I will do that again and again, however much it takes. And Orpheus will tell the story of how. Again, I think.
Are you
this.
using the move?
Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. I'm happy to. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think we'll roll first, and then we'll see how this plays out.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Um,
I'm rooting for you.
I'm glad because I'm rolling with the +0 on this. So. Oh, incredible. Okay, this is an 11.
Yes!
Yeah. And on a 10 plus, I describe a positive memory of my love. Okay, yeah, I tell the story of how Eurydice and I first met. I was traveling through a small village, and it was in the late evening, and people are kind of gathering together, and someone lights a fire, and I start singing, and she's in the audience, and after I finish singing, and it's a performance that I didn't, while I was doing it, I didn't realize how much it meant to me. But once it was done, it was like waking up from a dream, and I was like, why did I care so much about this small village? And then at this point, I think she was just passing by, and she trips over one of the long tresses of my hair, and I bent down to pick her up, and it's that very much that cliche meet cute thing of us just like locking eyes on the floor, and as I pick her up, I knew that I was in love with her, and I tell the spirit that, and hope she's gonna cut me some slack.
you narrate this memory, right? And one second. Yeah. You narrate this memory, and immediately you see, instead of dissipating, you see like this the apparition melt, which is weird because it's made out of air. You see it melt, and behind you hear, "Oh, I hate songs," and you turn around. You turn around and you recognize, at least from all the tales and stuff that you've heard, you recognize Eris, the goddess of discord.
Just a mean girl.
Oh brother.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah.
And she kind of looks at you. She gives like a once over of you, just like checks you out, and it's like, I must admit, you do have you might have what it takes to gain an audience with Hades and Persephone.
I'm glad I've convinced you to believe me.
Oh, no, I don't believe you at all.
I think you do. I think you're a fan. I think you're a fan. It's
Maybe.
happening. It's
If
happening.
anything, I've killed lovers. Have you heard of Paris and Troy?
I would not dare question your motivations or intentions, but I just, you can pretend, but I see it in your eyes. You're trying to believe.
She kind of looks at you with contempt and is like, "Oh, that might be true, but your body isn't prepared for this realm, is it? You've been feeling something, haven't you, throughout your journey here?" And her eyes kind of like light up with this fire. And then she kind of like calls out and she's like, "Limos!" And this other god kind of appears, and it's her son,
Okay.
who is like the personification of like hunger and starvation.
Okay.
And this is the person that's kind of like been following you because they kind of clocked you as like a mortal. You're not supposed to be here. And Limos has essentially been toying with you your entire journey by making you feel these pangs of hunger and like emptiness and just kind of like from your inside. And as he appears, again, I'm going to ask you to roll a passion.
Well, goddamn. Haven't I suffered enough?
Your passion roll, right? Yeah, you're done with the LGO ones.
Yeah, passion is 0, so that's an 8.
Oh, good. So you're able to kind of like withstand the feeling that he gives as like they appear. But Eris kind of like turns to Limos and says, "This one shouldn't be here." And Limos is like, "I agree."
You've already done your worst. What more could you torture me with?
Hold on. That was good.
Oh my god.
Eris, you see like her form grow a little bigger, and she just a little, not too much, not like she's tall and everything. And she looks at you and she's like, "You will encounter so much more than just us. I hope you're prepared for that." But then again, you weren't prepared for your love dying in your arms, so I'm not too sure.
Why prepare when you can just trust in the love in your heart?
So you would rather leave things up to chance than believe in yourself?
No, I believe in myself.
Do you? To save her again after you failed to save her the first time?
Like I said, I will not make that mistake again.
Oh, you won't? So convincing.
I don't think there's anything I can say that will convince you. But my name is Orpheus, and I will melt the heart of Hades.
You couldn't melt mine.
But you haven't heard me sing.
Oh. Are you gonna? Are you using a move, or are you just leaving it at that?
Yeah, I thought I had them, but I clearly don't. So I'm going to, I don't want to. There's a part of me that is like, ah, but yeah, I think the second verse has in this frustration has like appeared to me, and I think I'm going to sing them the first verse and the second verse as I
Are
have it.
you stirring heart or proving love again?
I am going to. Yeah, I think I'm going to stir the.
Okay.
No, actually, I'm trying to charm them.
You're trying to charm them?
Yeah.
Like,
Uh,
is that just that's charming a denizen, right?
right. True. True. True.
But they're not a denizen.
Stir the heart. It is. Stir the heart. It is. I think that's all I want. Just want them to feel what I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is another roll and another opportunity to screw this up. Oh, that's okay. That's a 9.
Yes. Okay. So what do you say? What do you do?
Yeah, I think I sing them the first and second verse, and the second verse is just
This
has
is
a
like
little
the
bit.
edited first verse as well. After
Yeah, it's
that,
getting better. It's getting better. Like, yeah, it's like
you're workshopping it through the journey.
yeah. Suddenly there's just there's a bit more to the music. You're like, oh, nice. I like that.
There's new harmonies. How interesting.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm singing my heart out.
You do see Limos kind of like you see Limos soften up a little, and you don't see Eris do much other than like return to her original stature, and you see Eris kind of like give Limos something or whisper something into Limos's ear and like give Limos something, and Limos approaches you, and without saying much, at this point Eris has like disappeared. Limos, without saying much, gives you this brooch that Eurydice usually wears on her person. And yeah, after that, after he gives you the brooch, as you're looking at the brooch, and it's like, oh, Eurydice did leave something behind here for me to find. And you look up to like, would you look up to thank Limos?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's not there.
Yeah, I think I clipped the brooch on.
Okay.
And I will say thank you. I mean, just to nobody, I guess, to the air. I just say thank you.
Just
Thank
to
you.
the void, in
Yeah.
case they listen.
Yeah. And I guess I was right. I guess you are becoming a fan. Yeah.
So, yeah. The road eventually leads to the wide banks of a glassy river. The air is deathly quiet, save for the occasional murmur from the handful of souls milling upon its shore. Yeah, so once you see like everyone kind of discarding stuff from their life above. Again, like you saw in the wasteland before you, so like eyeglasses, wedding rings, lockets, any toys, and they cast them among the reeds with hundreds of other trinkets that litter the riverbank. Once unburdened, they walk into a ghostly procession toward an ancient wooden dock where a single iron lantern remains forever lit. There they wait in hushed reverence for the lone, silent figure of the ferryman, Charon, to pull his rust-colored skiff through the eerily calm waters. Upon extending his hand, they place 2 coins in his palm and board his vessel. You are able to give Charon the bow from the tree that you snapped off in lieu of the coins. Yeah, and you're able to board his vessel. You are then carried across the wide, dark rivers of the Styx to whatever fate awaits you guys on the other side. The waters, you notice, are very smooth, like a polished stone, almost like obsidian. and there's something unnerving about them if you look into the waters for too long. Deep within the waters, you see the occasional flash of a wisp pale movement, the curl of a finger, the gleam of an eye. The other souls avoid looking into the river as well. Their gaze is focused on the distant horizon of the other bank, where the shadowy gates to the underworld await them. And with that, we're done with book 1, our first little slice of Orpheus' journey.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Awesome. Let's get into book 2 without too
Further
much
ado.
preamble. Book 2. Eurydice, you awaken to find yourself in a twilight meadow, alone among a sea of white asphodel. Mist billows around your bare feet and blankets the ground as far as you can see. In the blue half-light, shadowy figures of other souls move, as if in pantomime. If you strain, you can barely hear their voices, snatches of one-sided nonsense conversations. Small white lights, are they fireflies? Dance and flicker in the distance. The air is heavy with the perfumed scent of flowers. You're so tired. Surely now you can rest. Just as you're about to slip back into a lovely dream, though, you hear a voice in the back of your mind. It's a voice that reminds you of the trilling of birds, the buzzing of bees, a voice that possesses all the sweetness of springtime. It is a voice once powerful and familiar. Look there, says Lady Persephone, goddess of spring, queen of the dead, as if she alone were guiding your eyes. Look and remember. Up ahead, you see Orpheus is retreating back as it vanishes into the mist. What does Eurydice look like?
Ooh, Eurydice is this, the most like caring woman, I would say, that her village has seen. She has like this farm where she grows her own produce and kind of like donates it to the villagers anytime there's some sort of food shortage. And weirdly enough, anytime there's like a famine, it doesn't seem to affect Eurydice's farm. Yeah, but Eurydice in her ghostly appearance is just dressed in plain linen robes, hair up, hair is always up. Would rather not get in her face while working. Yeah, and kind of wake up and look towards where I saw Orpheus and see like what happens. Like follow, try to reach him. Like go through the fields to try to reach him.
So you try to follow this apparition, and at first you're walking along a path. Again, it seems to be like a straight road made of white stone. On either side of you, these fields of asphodel, white flowers on blue-green stalks, and the road doesn't seem to end for a while, and you lose Orpheus in the mists. But as you keep walking, you see what could be, just for a brief second, off the path in the meadows, a flicker that just for a second, in the brief second that you can see it, it looks like his face is there in the darkness.
Like how far away? Like in the distance?
Yeah. I think it's off the path into these fields, and it looks like it would take a couple of minutes to walk.
Yeah, there. I'm gonna go off the path and try to just like it kind of reminds me of what I left behind, and I can't really remember what it is that I left behind. So I'm like, I recognize that face. Who is that? And I like kind of move with that thought in my mind of like I want answers.
Yeah. So you try to step off the path, and suddenly the path itself seems to shift, and you're still on it.
Oh no.
And it's curving away now. It's no longer a straight path. It's trying to curve away, but it's not letting you get off.
I want to know why this path is doing that.
It's reasonable.
I'm
How
going to
are you going to get an answer?
I'm
from
going
the
to
path?
pierce the veil to see what's hidden and unseen. And I get to roll for philosophy, which I have a +1 in, and then I can ask some questions.
Go ahead.
This is 8. 8 + 1 is 9. Let's go. On a 9, I get to ask one question. Okay.
Yeah.
So now, okay, the question is, what do I see now that the veil has been parted? So, like, if there is an illusion, what do I see instead of the path?
Are you looking at the path, or are you looking towards the darkness where you saw the face? Where are you trying to pierce the veil? Yeah.
The face.
Okay, wonderful. I think as you look off into the darkness, you see the flickering and that brief light that seemed to like reveal the face of the person you're looking. And you see the light is on a string, and the string seems to go up and up and up into the sky. And then you have to look up to get a sense of where the string is going. And you see this giant figure like looming in the distance, holding what looks like a fishing rod. At the end of that fishing rod is this little light.
I almost was anglerfished. I was almost finding Nemo.
you were almost anglerfished.
I was almost anglerfished.
Remember, kids, it's catfishing in the real world, but it's anglerfishing in the underworld. Yeah. Yeah. And then I guess you get a sense that the path is on your side. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Duh. Okay. Good. I'm going to keep going down the path. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going down the path. Are there any other like people that I'm like other ghosts that I see on the path, or is it just me?
The path itself seems to be just for you.
Oh.
And I guess there are figures in the fields, the same kind of these ethereal or featureless figures, right? They just are there floating around. But yeah, nobody else quite like you.
Okay. Are there like other people walking on their own paths that I see?
I think nobody else is on a specifically a path, but these spirits are in the fields are doing things, right?
Okay.
I think they're like one of them seems to be in conversation with somebody that isn't there. One of them is just kind of like standing still like a statue, like they're not moving at all, and there's a kind of melancholy in that. I think
Right.
like they can't even
Speak.
Yeah, they can't even come up with a reason to move, I think. And then you see a third figure who's again clearly turning away from you, and they seem to be gathering the flowers, and they're gathering the flowers with a with a curved blade, like a sickle, right? Like a
Okay.
hand sickle is in their hand, and they're using that to harvest these asphodel. And there's something about that sickle that I think draws your eye and reminds you of something that you've forgotten.
Yeah, like my farming. My farm.
So yeah, what do you do?
Can I ask them? Can I like call out to them and
Yeah,
ask them what
yeah.
they're doing?
Yeah. What do you say? Are you just just
And I
calling?
call out to them. And it's like, excuse me, who are you, and why are you harvesting this asphodel? Is it for someone?
I think this figure is like, I think that's the briefest pause where you know they've heard you, but there's there, and I think I think honestly you get the sense that they're very purposefully trying not to turn around and show you their face, like they're keeping their back towards you, and they're going to be like, we harvest when it's time to harvest.
What? Okay. And who are you? What is your name?
It's polite to introduce yourself first.
Jesus. Okay. Eurydice is a little taken aback, but says, "My name is Eurydice. I've just found myself here. I remember being on a picnic, but I can't remember what happened."
Would you like to remember?
Can you do that?
It's not a question of whether I can or can't. It's a question of whether you want to. Life has many burdens that some people do not want to recollect.
I think I would like to know.
Why?
Well, it doesn't make sense to find myself in an unknown place without knowing why I'm here.
Oh, that's simple enough. You died.
Oh. And Eurydice is like actually just kind of realizing that right now, like, oh, I'm dead. Okay. But she's still confused as to how. She again like keeps talking to this person and is like, how did I die? You said that you could show me.
Most people here don't want to remember. Why do you want to? I'm not like most guys. What did you just silently? I'm not. I don't want to give you something that will cause, how shall I put it, buyer's remorse. I don't want to give you something you don't want. Why are you so convinced that it is worth remembering?
Why else would you offer?
Maybe I'm here to. Maybe I'm here to trick you. Maybe I'm like the fisherman that you so
How does he know?
luckily avoided.
I'm gonna ask again, who are you?
And I'm someone who knew you. And let's say that there's something I did to you that I have some regret over.
Were you the one who killed me?
Nothing, nothing so straightforward. I saw you as a child. Does
P
does
knows what you're talking about.
yeah, does
Do you
Eurydice
think P knows
remember?
what you're talking about?
Does
Eurydice
Eurydice
has no idea.
hmm.
Can I
Yeah. Yeah, look at your moves. See if there's something you want to do.
yeah, I want to show tenderness so I can get information out of them.
so transactional. No, how do you show tenderness? What is
I didn't listen. I'm not the one who made it transactional in the first place. You're the one who's like, oh, what if you have buyer's remorse?
that is true.
I got another 8 plus pathos is 2. Oh, 10. Oh, nice. Okay, I can ask 2 questions. Yeah, and then nothing. I just asked 2 questions. Ooh, how can I convince them to show me how I died? That's 1. And what do they desire, fear, or regret?
Okay, amazing. So I think if you can just paint me a picture of how you're showing them tenderness, I'm happy to answer these questions.
As much as the path would allow me to, I want to see if I can like reach out to them and just kind of reach out and say, if I knew you when I was alive, I would want to know who you are in death as well, whether you did harm or good. I need some sort of connection to who I was before. I feel empty not knowing who I am, and it feels unnatural. And yeah, if the path will allow me, I will like
It will. Yeah.
just like kind of put a hand on their shoulder because they're refusing to turn around.
Yeah. And I think when you do that, when you put your hand on their shoulder in that kind of tender gesture of care, this figure does kind of turn her face towards you. And at first, it's just an old woman. Like the face means nothing to you. But then, like as you gaze into it, recollection comes to you. And yeah, what do you remember about her?
About who?
About Lady Demeter.
Oh, it's her! Oh my god. Oh gods. Literally. I only remember her as like an adult in the sense that she cursed me, essentially. She cursed me to tend to the farm continuously, which is why like it never had a famine, because the farm had Demeter's blessing. I had her curse. And I from what I understand, as I did long ago, as a child, I accidentally ate her offerings at a temple, and she got mad, and she did she kill my family, or my family just died?
No. I think she didn't kill your family.
Oh, my family just died.
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Unrelated.
But I was cursed to tend to a farm continuously as so I could repent for me taking Demeter's offerings.
Yeah.
What is she doing in the underworld? Sneaking in to see Persephone.
I think that's a very much exactly what she's doing.
The best mother-in-law trope.
She's coming to pick up her daughter for her 6 months, and I think she looks at you and she says, actually no, I'm asking you. Like remembering this little thing, like do you hold a grudge against her, or have you forgiven? Do you have it in you to forgive her for that
I
curse?
think like when I first like understood it, and because I was young, I was probably like what, a teenager, that teenager angst of like, oh, this lady kind of thing. But as I like kept doing it, and as I grew up and I found like the village that I like, where I ended up living and stuff, I genuinely enjoyed it. Like the work, like, it kept me busy. Uh, and giving back to the village and the community felt nice. And it also helped me gain friends and, people who would look out for me. So anytime that I was sick or anything like that, I would always have someone bring over some soup. Uh, you know,
Nice.
if anyone wanted like a jar of honey, I would always bring it to them, and they would like get. It was like a nice little barter system that
Yeah.
kept me going, kept me surviving in the world, living, not surviving.
So how do you?
How would I react when she turns around?
Yeah.
Um, I think the recognition would definitely be there, but it would like slowly dawn on her, and it would just say, "Oh, it's you." And I would try to hug her if I could.
Yeah, and I think that's the moment where you feel like she goes like, maybe my daughter is right about you. Maybe the journey ahead is not going to be easy, but you have my daughter's blessing and you have mine. And I know it isn't, I know it's a little late, and but maybe a lifetime's worth of offerings should get you this much at least. And I think she will hand you the sickle, and she will be like, uh, this is a symbol of industry and hard work and care, but it also has an edge to it. It has a blade. So wield it, with thought, and she will give it to you. And like I think as you grip it, it feels very comfortable in your hand. You recognize it as the sickle you would have used, for your whole life. And she'll step back, and the path is just, as you walk towards her, the path is very much with you. Like, it's like going there, and then and now the path is kind of like, it still turns and going back in the direction that it was pointed at. Like it's kind of routing you back, and she will slowly fade away if you have nothing else to say to her.
Yeah. Yeah, I would kind of I would thank her when she gives me the sickle, and I would kind of like again thank her for the life that she's given me, even though it was supposed to be a curse. Like it really did help me, and yeah, and I thank her for her blessing going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. With that, I'm happy to call the book to here.
Ooh,
And
okay.
yeah, let's get to book 3.
Ooh, book 3, Back to Orpheus.
Yeah, we're done with fields.
Mm.
Book 1 and book 2 is nice because there's a kind of like mirroring. Now we get to another.
And then book 3 and book 4, it's just horror.
Yeah.
What it is. It should be classified as cosmic horror.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a reminder to chat. You guys do have incentives. For every $5 donation, the player of your choice is able to heal harm that they've taken. For every $10, you can inflict harm onto the player of your choice. I think I don't have any harm, which I'm very lucky to say. I might get a bunch of harm in book 4 because
It's
There's
just
a lot of
pretty
people that can
horrible.
harm me in book 4. There's
Yeah.
so many people there. But as of now, only Orpheus has harm. If you wish to help Orpheus clear it up,
Or make it worse, which is fine.
or make it worse, yeah. Go ahead and donate to the Starlight Foundation. All right, book 3. You emerge atop a rocky cliff, its surface slick with rainwater. Lightning cracks the skies above you. A titanic worm roils in a storm dark clouds, its acidic excretions mixing with the freezing rain to pelt down upon a violent sea. Carrion crows Carrion crows the size of a large man circle overhead, their calls echoing off the rock like mocking laughter. A crumbling stone stair, lashed by waves, descends to a black sand beach below. So after you enter the underworld, this is what you're met with, like this thrashing sea, just mist going everywhere, rain coming from the top, icy rain. Like you feel it sting your skin as you come to this place. In the sky, you see these big birds who seem to be like plucking denizens at random and like taking them elsewhere. You don't know where they're taking them. They might be taking them to where they need to go, which is either the fields of Asphodel, Elysium, or, Tartarus. But you see people just being picked off one by one randomly. Others who aren't picked off, they seem to be gravitating towards the stairs. And once you reach the stairs, you see the beach. And upon the beach, there's this battle that is endless. It has been raging for eons at this point. You see souls tear at one another, tooth and nail, not paying attention to anything around them. A short distance away, like in the ocean, but not too far out, you see other souls that are in cages at the very edge of like the sea, who are like pleading other souls or like people who can hear them to release them from their cages, as they're as they're endlessly battered by the rain and the waves. Uh, Again, a little bit more distance across the beach, you see what seems to be like a shipwreck. And around the shipwreck, you see other souls fervently digging through. Oh, what is happening?
What?
Oh no, there is something going on in the chat. Sorry. Around the shipwreck, you see many souls digging fervorously into the ground, looking for something, anything. Yeah. But yeah, this is what you see on the beach, and it seems everyone is going down to it. So you also start your journey down this slippery staircase.
Yeah. I think Orpheus's
Oh, I
heart
think
goes.
I think we got a donation. We got healing for you.
Wow. Okay.
1 heal for Orpheus. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, wow. Nice. I'm a little less burdened. Yeah. I'm going to. I think, yeah, what I was saying is my heart goes out to those people kind of trapped on the shore in cages. The fact that nobody's listening to them, I think, is what kind of convinces Orpheus that he has to go there. So he's going to try to walk down these stairs and then somehow weave his way through the battle to where they are.
Okay, as you enter this setting, because of the icy rain, I'll need you to roll a passion roll, just to see if you can endure it.
You really like making me roll these dice. Wow.
You
Okay.
gotta work. You gotta work for the keepsake. You gotta work to get into the underworld.
Well, I'm happy to say I rolled a 12, which is the maximum I could have.
This
So, yeah.
it like slides off you. You don't even get anything.
Yeah.
It slides off you. You might feel a little bit of a sting, but nothing more than that. No cuts, no bruises, or anything like that, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's after dealing with the goddess of discord or whatever. This is just a little real.
You just become like invulnerable just a little bit. Just like, oh, you think physical things can hurt me? I got vicious mockeried by Eris.
She was so mean.
Thanks.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to make my way to those cages.
Making your way downtown. As you are going down these stairs, you see that the denizens of the underworld seem to be floating down pretty easily. They're not bothered. They don't know what slipping is. But you, however, being mortal, you're very aware of how dangerous this staircase is going to be for you. And not only is the staircase slippery, every so often a crash of waves hits the staircase, and the waves are so high that like you constantly get slashed by just like just water, salty seawater just on your person every so often.
Yeah.
And as you're like halfway down, not too far up, not too far down, I'm gonna ask you to take a philosophy roll, just to see if you can perceive if you can take the next step or not.
Yeah. Philosophy is what I'm bad at. I don't think, I just do. And that's a 7 still, though.
Oh, it's a 7. That's still good though.
Yeah.
I hear a cat.
Yeah, that's my cat.
Oh my god. You got a 7, even with a -1. That's great. You're able to wait until like the next wave crashes and then goes back, and then you take your next step forward. And as you do, you hear like amongst the other ruckus that's going around, you hear like the flapping of wings, and you see this owl. You would classify it as an owl, but it looks much bigger than an owl, and it doesn't have all the features of an owl. It looks too big, and it looks too murderous to be just an owl. But yeah, you see this owl flying around, kind of like circling the denizens, almost like a vulture, but like it doesn't. Unlike the carrion crows, it doesn't like come up and pick a denizen from the beach or from the stairs. It's just circling. The carrion crows are still doing their thing, picking people up, flying away, dropping them Hades knows where. And yeah.
What is this owl doing exactly? It's
just flying around right
me?
now, flying around, looking at what's happening.
Okay. Yeah, the owl's not bothering me. As far as I'm concerned, this is just a normal thing in the underworld. I don't know. I'm just going to carefully make my way down these treacherous stairs.
Right. As you walk down again, I'm going to have you roll another philosophy roll. Before, like, it's going to be right before, like, the safe space of the stairs. Your last philosophy roll.
Okay, yeah. That's a 2. So yeah.
So you gain back the harm that you just lost. You lost.
It was inevitable.
Did you roll a 3 and you had to -1? Oh.
Yeah.
So it would have been bad either way.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better. So You end up slipping. So like your timing is kind of off and like another wave hits the staircase as you try to step down. And you end up slipping off the staircase. But you're able to hang on to the ledge.
Am I in danger of crashing into the sea and the rocks, or
Yeah, you're in danger of crashing into the sea and not into the beach.
ouch? Okay. Uh, I think. Okay. Yeah. Why not? I'm going to try to call out to the owl. I'm going to be like,
Call it to the owl? Okay.
yeah. I'm going to be like a noble creature, feathered lord. Uh, um, you know, bring your wings, bring your silent wings to me, and lend me your aid. Uh,
Right now, the whatever you say, the owl cannot hear you.
oh man, that was dumb.
He's too far up in the sky.
He's an owl.
You can
Okay.
ask like there are other spirits still going down the stairs.
Oh, they are? Okay, they're floating down kind of effortlessly, unlike me. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm panicked. I'm a bit, I'm terrified of falling, and yeah, I'm just gonna call out for help and ask someone to lift me up.
So is that charm a denizen that you have?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm trying to do.
So roll for that.
Okay, yeah. This is Numa, which I'm
That you're good
always happy to roll. And yeah, that's a 12. So
perfect.
yeah, I get to pick one. Man, the things I get to pick are bad, but it's fine.
Twist them a little.
Yeah, no, it's great. They reveal an unfortunate truth about the traditions of the underworld. What's an unfortunate truth that they could reveal about what? About the underworld here.
Oh, I know. Like the denizen informs you of the bad things?
Yeah, like they're helping me out. They reveal something. Oh. Sorry, the charm and denizen move is actually just to get information. Are we
No, I
interpreting
think
it as like them helping me out?
Yeah. You're good. A denizen does. Oh, it's a cat. Oh,
It's just her morning scream.
little calico.
Yeah.
The cutie.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
No, you're welcome. A denizen does end up noticing you and attempts to like. 1 second. Ends up like pulling you up and kind of warns you like, oh, be careful. You don't want to end up like the people in the sea in the cages. Those and he tells you like those are people who refused shelter for those in need, and now they're caged in their own little thing, just meters away from the beach, but they'll never be able to get that. And he also tells you that in the people in the battle are those who had intense rage and anger, and they took it out on innocent people, and now they're here to like tear each other to shreds, and they're cursed to relive it over and over again because their rage is nonstop. So if it's going to be nonstop up above, it's going to be nonstop down here. And as you're walking down the stairs with him, he kind of points towards the people digging in the muddy sand near the shipwreck and informs you that those are people who are greedy in the mortal realm. And Now their greed has overtaken them here in the underworld, and they keep digging for, you know, prizes in the sand. But every time someone finds something, it's nothing of value. And but like, because they've been digging for so long and they find something, they kind of like, the souls end up tearing at each other to see what that thing is, because they don't want the other person to get what they don't have.
Wow. Underworld is not chill. Oh man. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. Hearing about all of this, I'm like, aha. Hmm.
So once you're down on the beach, you kind of see that in the distance, you see like a mountain range. The peaks are like topped with snow, and they sit upon like a frozen harbor, like this frozen part of like uh, the sea. Not the sea, but like it like leads out into the sea. But this harbor itself is frozen, um, and there's this dense pine forest that leads into the mountains.
Ah.
The wind is still, you know, relentless. Still, you hear like everyone screaming. The carrion crows still picking people up and taking them to where they need to go. Um, and you start to look for shelter, but you don't seem to find anything. And now you know the only thing that you need to do is press on.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like there's only one direction to go in, and that's where I need to be. So I'm not hanging around here. I think I'm like hearing about these people. Like there's something deeply like unsettling about it. Like I think there's something like maybe I should not like interfere with this. There's a sense in Orpheus's head also that he has to at some point show up in front of Hades, and he wants to not have like ruined anything. He doesn't want that held against him, so he's like, yeah, this is. Uh,
As you once you like reach the beach and you know, are walking across it trying to avoid these people that you've been forewarned about, um the owl finally kind of like lands in one of those pine trees that are
okay.
at the very edge of the beach. And you know, it kind of like looks at you and does that like turn, just that like 90-degree turn of like, you're not supposed to, and says to you, Orpheus, son of Calliope and Apollo, I heard you entering the underworld. I did not think you would make it this far.
I will not let anything stop me, my lord. It's just I have I have made a mistake, and I will set it right. Please, would you lend me some aid? Would you show me the way to go? This is not a kind place.
Of course, I can show you the way, but I will need something from you.
If I can't give it, I will.
And the owl kind of like points with its wing to your lyre.
Um.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a moment as Orpheus is taken aback, and he's like, the lyre is just an instrument. Would you rather not have the song?
I have no use for songs. I cannot sing myself, and poets that come here usually stop singing.
As a separate hell for them. I get it. Um, uh, but then what use is the instrument to you?
Um, I have people who could play it for me, or I can learn it for myself. You don't
Hmm.
find a lot of instruments here unless the muses come to visit, and that is never.
Oh my god.
Why do you hesitate so?
I sense that I'll need it. I go to meet Hades and Persephone, and without the lyre, I'm just an ordinary man.
Surely the song makes the man and not the lyre.
Music without lyrics is lyrics without music is just poetry, and I'm not a poet. I'm a musician. You're asking something from me that is like asking for my heart or my soul. There's just nothing. There's nothing left. I am not who I am without this.
Could you roll a Numa?
Am I trying to charm him?
You're trying to like charm and persuade him to like give you information, but like not give up your lyre.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I'm doing. That's an 11, which is great.
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay. I've got a good complication for this, which is they become unhealthily fixated on me and my quest.
That's what he's been unhealthily fixated on you and your quest.
Okay, good.
So the owl kind of looks at you and is like, all right, I see what you're saying. If I will show you the way forward. I will make sure you gain an audience with the king and queen of hell. Or hell? Hades. The underworld. Duh. And the owl kind of like turns around and says, "Follow me," and you see like this. It's not like a path opens up. It's more like the pine trees kind of like bend away, so you know where to go. And yeah, Ascapulus, who is the owl, kind of leads you where you need to go. And as you're walking through the pine forest, can you roll a philosophy? Real quick?
Oh, I can. This is my worst one. Like I am
just a random philosophy.
Oh, okay. This is genuinely the 3 best rolls of my life so far. But this is a 12 minus 1, 11. So like it's again literally the highest I could have gotten.
That is insane. Oh my god. Actually, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You find in the forest this little handkerchief that like you first like smell like Eurydice's perfume, and it kind of like you like kind of drift towards it just a little. It's not too far off the path, but yeah, you find like this dropped handkerchief, and you kind of see like the stains of blood.
Yeah.
And it just bolsters your resolve to like get her back. And yeah, I think with that we're done with book 3.
Okay.
It was good rolls.
That
really sailed you through.
Yeah. I'm so glad I only ended up as bad as I was when I went in. It could have been so much worse.
Now I'm waiting for someone to harm me.
Oh, I mean, don't worry. Like this is the bad one for you. Like dude. I think, yeah. This is
a horrible one for me.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty horrible. Okay, so you enter a tunnel, dark and narrow. This is book 4 in the chasm of titans. Okay, so yeah, you enter a tunnel, dark and narrow. You have to turn sideways to pass through openings almost too small for your body. The walls are slick and warm and almost seem to inhale and exhale. You crawl on your hands and knees until you force yourself through an opening barely large enough for your shoulders and emerge into a darkness so complete that you struggle to find any source of light. As you strain to see, you notice the ground beneath you is damp and sticky, and the air is heavy with an earthy, metallic tang. As your eyes begin to adjust, you realize you are standing in an immense cavern. Below, an impossible vast chasm yawns like a bottomless void. If you squint, you can make out several rough-hewn, dizzying staircases clinging to the walls from which other tunnels spread like a series of dark veins. High above, the twisted roots of a massive tree hang like gnarled talons. A colossal giant with 50 heads and 100 hands dangles viciously, impaled. He hangs suspended in eternal agony as his blood slowly gathers to drip into the pit below. Peering over the edge of the chasm, the metallic scent grows even stronger, taking on a foul, pungent air. You peer into the darkness and can barely make out the sprawling shapes of other titanic figures at the bottom. They are restrained in all manners of configuration, some misshapen or afflicted in ways your mind can barely comprehend. Swarming around them in the bloody effluence that is congealed at the bottom of the pit are numerous feeding parasites, their flesh a sickly grub white in the near oppressive darkness. So yeah, it's gross.
I forgot how gross it was.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. So you're on the rim of this chasm, right? And you have to walk along the edges to staircases that can lead you up. And as they go up, they get tangled with these roots to this huge tree. And the whole thing is kind of slick with this dark, almost black blood. I think the problem in front of you right now is that between you and the nearest staircase, there is a giant pale maggot that is just kind of like has its mouth kind of like in this drop of blood that has like slipped from the rim down and this.
I think this is a good time to don my shroud.
What does that mean? Tell me what don is shroud.
So when I don my shroud, it's to escape a dangerous or uncomfortable situation. So I think this classifies as a dangerous or uncomfortable situation.
So what does it look like to don a shroud?
I would say it's like a shawl because like Persephone and Demeter gave me a blessing. So it's like how they would conceal themselves to like mortals.
Yeah.
So it's like it's like taking from that, and it was like given to me so I can like just escape anything that is untoward.
Okay, yeah, I love it.
I'm gonna roll philosophy, which I have a +1 in. Okay, please.
Please fail.
No. I got an 8. So on a 7 to 9, okay, I'm not okay. I take I transition to an incorporeal form, and it either I drop a keepsake, I don't have one, or I take a -1 ongoing. So I have a -1 to all my rolls until I drop the shroud.
Okay, yeah.
Fun.
That makes sense.
Fun. So I'm able to like get past the maggot.
Yeah, what is it? What is Eurydice's reaction as she has to kind of skirt the edge of this? Like,
listen, she farmed. She had her fair share of critters and creepies and crawlies, but seeing a maggot this size kind of just it grosses her out. It really it's so big, and it's just feasting on blood that's dripping from like the walls. She feels so like dirty. It's like everything is just ick, and it's like the feeling of like I need to get out of here like immediately.
you sidestep the maggots and you
Is the sickle a keepsake, or was the sickle just?
It was a keepsake. It was a keepsake.
Yeah, then I'm not gonna drop that. I'm going to keep that, but I'm gonna take a -1 to all rolls going forward.
Yeah. Cool.
I go down the staircase. Are there any other tunnel openings while I'm going down?
Okay, so the way I see it is that you are trying to get to the top of the chasm.
Oh, okay.
Right? In the sense that you've come out in the middle, right?
Okay.
And there's like these paths that are kind of running along the edge of the chasm, all up and down it, right? And there are stairs that go from the top to the bottom. But if you go down, you're getting further into where the Titans have been trapped. So you want to kind of like get out of here.
You're going up then.
Yeah, you're going up, and I think as you're going up, again, kind of resonating with what we just saw with Orpheus, you step into like one step, and it's kind of slick with water. It's just water.
It's not water. Is it water?
It's just water. It's just
Are
water.
You sure? Am I sure?
Yeah.
You're just kind of like looks at the stair just to check. Is it water? And it's water.
And I think that's when you find somebody, a voice from behind saying, move out of the way.
I turned. Is it like behind me? I'm going to turn to look to see who it was.
There are 4 or 5 women there holding sieves, right? Like,
Yes.
They're holding sieves, and the sieves are dripping wet, and they look at you, and there is a real kind of like, it's a real frustration in their voice, and they were like, we almost had it. We probably could have reached the top if you weren't here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know. What are you trying to do?
You have to carry water from the bottom to the top. It's as simple as that, and it's also impossible.
That's You guys don't have any other way to get the water to the top?
We have to carry it in these. And they hold up the sieves, which are, it's never going to happen. Yeah.
Eurydice kind of looks at them and, asks them, like, why do you have to carry water to the top?
They kind of look at each other, and then they look back at you, and I think there's a pause for a second as one of them says, for the crime of murdering who we were supposed to marry, men who we did not love, for the crime of being forced into marriage, we are now cursed like this. Tell me, is that fair?
Eurydice has like this just like little dilemma in herself, just like, they're mad, but also if I say that their punishment is unjust, that's going against Hades.
Absolutely. Yeah. Tough spot.
Eurydice is gonna say, I don't think it was right for whoever forced you into the marriage. Yeah.
So you judge us as well?
I judge the people who forced you into the marriage, not you.
Then why are we punished and not them?
They also might be punished. You don't know.
So it's right for both of us, for us to suffer as well. Is that what you're saying?
taking a life isn't right. I'm sure the person who killed me will suffer eventually.
This is not. This isn't. This isn't sympathy. This isn't. This isn't. This is a bad use of our time. If you can't even feel our pain and sympathize with us, then we hope that you receive the same treatment. And 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 they say that I think actually they're going to try to climb past you, and they're going to try to they shove you aside, and I think there's a moment in which that shove is not particularly vicious, but I think there's a sense of if you fell off the stairs and rolled all the way down into the mouth of some titan, they wouldn't mind. They're truly affronted, I think, by your by what they are seeing as your kind of callous reaction to their plight. Yeah.
Do I have to roll to see if they actually push me off or no?
Is all you want to do just hold on, or is there something more here? Are you happy to just let them walk away with their was it a curse?
Yeah, I think it's like a punishment. It's like their way to repent. And the thing is, Eurydice would, because Eurydice was also cursed and was forced to repent as a mortal. So she kind of understands that if a mortal person didn't repent in the life above, then they are made to repent in the underworld. So Eurydice understands that, and also understands that, they don't have to be happy with it.
Right.
I'm not. Yeah, this is something Eurydice would be like. Yeah, just.
I think yeah. Then I think this is what they're going to do. I think it's not just a push. I think it's the first person pushes, the second person tries to kick your feet out under you, and the third person will if you're still standing there, will try to absolutely shove you off the edge.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is getting. They're upset, I think. What do you want to do?
Damn. What would honestly, okay. I'm gonna try to weave the strands and give them a fighting chance, and give them a little goblet, a tiny one, a small one. So they'll still it'll take them quite a few trips to get all the water up.
Okay, I think we're not there yet. I think I want to know what you're doing with regard to the fact that they're shoving you off.
I would stand up to their this thing. I'm not gonna have some mean girls come at me. I am the mean girl. Look at me. I am the mean girl now.
Right, yeah. They're trying to shove you off the stairs. You're trying to stand up for them. Please roll with Numa. Yeah.
Roll with Numa. Oh my god, I'm a -1 in Numa. Kill me. I rolled an 11 -1. That's a 10. That succeeds.
Okay, on a 10 plus, you demand the respect and the
respect. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I'm gonna be like, you can't just because I don't completely agree with you does not mean I don't sympathize with you. I absolutely do sympathize with you in the sense that you were forced into a marriage that you didn't want, but killing the person you were married to would not have made a difference. You would have still, if you had still gone on, you would have been married, forcefully married to someone else. Killing that person wouldn't have made a difference. And clearly you did not know that in the mortal realm, and you are bickering about it now.
I'm going to remind you actually that you had a -1
Yeah, it's 11 minus 1.
and then another -1.
No, oh, it's a 9.
Yeah, it's a 9, which is fine.
So good. Shroud.
Yeah.
Undoing.
They concede, but only if you somehow prove you're worthy of the queen's gifts. So I think what this is looking like, actually, if we could just rewind, is that instead of shoving you off, they're trying to grab this shroud like away from you. Like they're kind of trying to rip it off you and be like, give it, and like, like you don't deserve it. And they're trying to like shove you off and take the shroud off you. So you're standing up and you say those words, but how are you going to prove to them that you're worthy of this Persephone's gift? Yeah.
If I somehow prove, ooh, I'm gonna say, I have the blessing of Demeter and like hold up my sickle a little threateningly. A weapon is a weapon. I have the blessing of Demeter, who cursed me like you guys have been cursed now, and she had me live a life of punishment when I was alive, and I was angry. I was unhappy with how it was brought about. I might have been wrong. I was at first, I think I did nothing wrong, but I accepted it and I repented. I did what I had to do. I served the goddess faithfully. And now I have her blessing. So maybe you too, could do that for yourselves. Why else would Persephone give me this shroud? And I kind of like hold it up again.
Yeah, I think there's a murmuring around them and they go like, twice blessed, twice cursed and blessed. And they just like, and they go like, yeah, but we have no chance of succeeding. And if you now want to leave,
yeah, I'm gonna reach out to them and just be like, let me try to help you then. And I'm gonna first stop donning my shroud.
That's good. Probably good idea.
And then I'm gonna roll with the pathos, which I have a +2 in.
Okay.
Please. Oh, I got 11 with the +2. I got 11. On a hit, choose one. Okay, I'm gonna shape a small object. It's gonna be like the smallest, tiniest little cup, and it's gonna be like the cup that I drank out of when I was a child, like my favorite little cup. It's like a small clay cup, and like kind of like give it to them and tell them like, I hope this helps in your endeavor, and I hope you can reach whatever you want to reach with it.
Okay. I think, with that gesture, there is some, there is a change in the tenor of their response to you. I think some of them look at it and for the first time in what has been like an eternity for them, there is like some hope that they have. And like, in some sense, that's like the effect that it has on them can't be overstated. And I think the head of them says, we can't take back the curse that we laid on you. And even though we regret it, we hope that Hades
They cursed me? When did
Yeah, a little bit. In fact, I should have given you harm at that point when they were like,
why not? Give it now. I've taken it.
Yeah, take the one harm, because I think when they said, we hope that you receive the same sympathy you gave us, that was them going like
spiritual.
Yeah, that was like them saying that when you, like, I mean, they don't know it, but like the result would have been like when you went to see Hades, like he will
Yeah.
treat you with the same sympathy that you treated them.
Oh, fuck.
And they're like, we can't take those words back, but we add our voices to your blessings, and may you also receive some hope. Yeah. And they then are like immediately kind of like scurrying back down these stairs to like grab some more water and
with
come
that
up.
little cup, yeah.
Yeah, it's still going to take them a long time, but they might have to work together. It's not particularly clear, but that cup will be handed down, and eventually,
Like a relay race. Like they're stationed at different points.
Okay, and I think there's just like one, like when this happens and they go scurrying down, there is like this kind of cry that echoes out through this whole area, as Briareus, the giant that is impaled on this tree, who is hanging above this chasm, this chasm is like a bowl. Like that's like he is so big that this next to him, this chasm is like a bowl that just catches the blood that like falls off him, and like this giant hand is going to swing down and like come towards you, as the fact that you are giving hope to someone in this place enrages him so much that like in his suffering he has to like witness this, and there's just this angry scream, and he's going to
oh goodness, oh no,
he's going to swing down. So how are you going to get out of the way of this giant hand? Don't look for him. Just like tell me what it might look like. Like yeah.
I would hear the scream and just again look at Briareus and kind of realize what I did, and even though like I'm so used to doing good things, never has been a place where it's just like that's bad. So I'm gonna say Eurydice tries to like dodge it.
Okay. It's a giant hand. So she's just running out of the way and going to throw herself
like,
off to the side.
Trying to run up the stairs.
And yeah.
Because like her thought process is if like the hands come down on the stairs in front of her, she won't be able to go up.
Yeah. So she has to get past it. Okay.
So she has to get past it. Yeah.
I think this is a challenge that will require you to prove your love. Like I think it's going to be hard to do.
Perilous but necessary risk. Oh, true. Passion.
Yeah.
Time for some passion, some willpower, and endurance. I think I take another harm. I rolled 3.
Right. So here's the bad part, which is that you take another point of harm. The good part is the hand doesn't strike you and send you flying into the pit. That's the good part. Instead, it grabs you.
Oh no!
And you're in the palm as this giant figure kind of like brings you up like to its face and like looks you in the eye as it like is about to like kind of swallow you. So
what can I do to make him not swallow me? Again, I'm gonna try to use stand up.
Okay. Oh,
and, like,
nice.
Tell him to not eat me.
Any particular gravitas you can lend that? I will say I should add one more detail here, which is that
Am I like
it-
dangling?
yeah, I think you are. Yeah, no, in the sense, yeah. You're in the palm, and he's about to kind of drop you
Yeah.
into his mouth, and I think you spot like in this tree, like there is Briareus impaled, and but you're also high enough up that like you can see like where you need to go, right? Like you can see the
Oh.
horizon for like this one moment you're above it all, and you can like look everywhere. And like I think there is. This is the end. This is the end. So I think there is a white owl flying towards you. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, this is the situation you're in. What do you want
Yeah,
to do?
I'm gonna like I'm in his like fist. I can't really move a lot. Wait, how big is this owl?
You can sit on this owl's back.
I want to do something.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my sickle and like
Oh.
stab him, like just like give like a really quick like on his hand so he drops me, and hopefully the owl can see that.
The owl is gonna be a part of this
The owl
maneuver.
is
I
like,
like
I
it.
got you, girl, and kind of like help me get out of that situation.
I think this is prove your love.
Prove my love. Oh, bet.
Yeah.
A pot. Okay, I first have to roll with passion. I have a 0 in passion. Please, gods, help me. 5.
It's still here. Very good.
I have to take another point of harm. I have more
Yeah.
harm now. How nice.
You have 4? It should be 3, right?
I have 3. You have 2.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. So you stab with that sickle, you drop, and I think the harm is just like for a second, like yeah, it looks like you're going to fall into his mouth, and you see like this yawning like darkness, and you're like, oh, I'm like 1 second away from like disappearing into like nothingness and spending eternity in his gullet or whatever.
I'm going to try to prove my love again. Just 3rd time's the charm, you know?
No, I think the owl is going to catch you. I think that you're just taking the harm, but the owl will
It's
catch
gonna
you.
catch you. Okay.
Yeah. You don't need to prove your love again. I think willing to risk it all is the thing. The owl is going to catch you, and is going to be like, I've been sent by someone who wishes to see you.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and maybe this is where we can end and get into the
Gauntlet.
gauntlet. Yeah.
Okay. So, this gauntlet. It is called the Gauntlet of Hope and Regret. We have finished our journeys, our respective journeys of Orpheus and Eurydice, and all that remains now is the gauntlet and the offering up of our positive and negative memories from our time together in the mortal realm.
Yeah.
So the Gauntlet of Hope and Regret, it determines the final outcome of the game and the state of Orpheus's and Eurydice's relationship as they reach the threshold of the underworld to get out. So as the two of them, so at this point, Hades and Persephone would have met Orpheus. Orpheus would have sung to them, moved their hearts, and Hades would have given the condition to Orpheus that you may take Eurydice, you may not talk to her, you may not see her, you cannot turn to look back, and if you do, Eurydice will disappear forever. And as the two of them travel through the final passage towards the living world, moments from their lives are replayed as if in warning of what's to come. So, in this game, the number of harm is directly proportional to the number of negative memories. So, Orpheus has 2 harm, so that means Orpheus has 2 negative memories and 4 positive memories that he can offer up. And Eurydice has three
and three.
harms. So 3 negative memories and 3 positive memories. If either character has keepsakes, they can use a keepsake to heal a harm and replace the negative memory with a positive one that relates to the keepsake. I think we can do that now.
Yeah.
I
sure.
have 1 keepsake, which
Yeah.
is the sickle, which I'm going to replace 1 harm with like a positive memory, and that memory would be the first time like Orpheus visited Eurydice's farm. It's like the first, it's like, you know, when someone brings their partner over and they finally get to see their bedroom. It's like, this is my home, this is my bubble.
See their live, laugh, love poster.
Yeah. It was the first time that Orpheus you know, visited, and Eurydice was like showing off like the farm, what she grows, how she harvests them, and like kind of like showed Orpheus also how to like harvest a little with like the sickle, kind of like, you know, holding his hand. This is how you do it.
And Orpheus is crap at it, right? Like
Orpheus is horrible at it when he tries to do it himself, but it's that first instance of like the 2 of them kind of doing something together, outside of, you know, anything else. So I'm gonna heal a harm.
Yeah.
So even now I only have 2 harm.
Yeah, and I should heal some harm as well. I have 2 keepsakes. One is the brooch, and the second is what was it?
The handkerchief.
The handkerchief. Yeah. Man. I think with the handkerchief, it's exactly that picnic, just where Eurydice died, but it's the moments before it, right? It was 2 of them sitting together, sharing this meal. Orpheus was planning to sing this song that he had written for her, and was going to be like this really kind of special, like private moment. And you know, as he's singing it, like, you know, there's like a mouse from the forest that comes out and, like, you know, wanders up to Eurydice and like climbs into her lap, and there's a bird that like lands on her shoulder, and it's a really kind of nice moment. And Eurydice is sort of like, you know, wiping her mouth with that handkerchief, and yeah, it's a perfect moment that is ruined, I think, by this sudden act of violence. But yeah, that is what I will bring up. Yeah, and I guess I should use the other keepsake as well. There's no reason to keep it.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Just to ensure the safest possible outcome.
Yeah. I think that brooch. I think Eurydice always wears that brooch, and there's some sense in which that Orpheus remembers her, like after the harvest, going out and, like, you know, everyone in the town coming over and her kind of divvying up everything that she's grown. Like, you know, there are fruits from fruit trees, there's grain, maybe there's like milk, and like she's divvying out all of this stuff to people in the farm. And like Orpheus does nothing to help. Like he is you know, I think he has tried and he always messes it up. She's like, okay, you know, like like measure this much, like in like some sense of like weight or whatever, and Orpheus like keeps making mistakes, and like she is like, you know, absolutely frustrated with him, and eventually just asks him to sit aside. And so he just sits and he's just like watching her do this thing that, you know, brings her so much joy, and like, yeah, it has leaves a lasting impression on him. So yeah, cool. That's my second keepsake. So I'm at 0 harm and you're at 1.
I'm at 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Just rubbing it in there. Sorry.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So now we get to describe. You have to describe all the memories. Do you want to describe all the positive and negative memories?
I
feel like we should. We have time.
That's a lot. But
That's a
yeah,
lot.
let's do it. Let's keep going till it's about time to wrap up, and then we see.
Yeah. Starting with negative memories because we have less of those. Damn, I have to think of a negative memory. I'm gonna say, do you remember when I asked you to deliver some vegetables and honey to a friend of mine, and you ended up uh, getting sidetracked by a few fans and completely forgot about the delivery?
Yeah, I do remember, and I remember that I was so late in delivering it that those people had, were hungry and they were waiting, and they refused to say anything to me. But when I came back, you were so upset, um, and yeah, I should not have stopped and listened to those damn fans. Curse those fans. But yeah.
Oh. I guess you'll do a negative one and then we'll alternate.
I don't have any negative memories.
Oh, you don't? Oh, it's only me.
It's just you. It's just Orpheus who's a dumbass. Like, it's just.
Then start off with a positive one then.
Okay, yeah, fair. Positive memory. Love, do you remember when I first visited your village and I was by myself because you had to step out to help somebody with something, and I was in your house and I was sitting in this darkness, and it started to make me afraid because I was all alone. So I took out my lyre and I started singing, and you started singing as you returned when you heard the second verse, and for a brief moment we sang together.
Oh, I do remember that. I remember coming home, listening to you sing, and as you do with everyone else, it moved me to sing with you, and I'm glad that we had that moment, even though the night was dark and cold. That moment made me feel warm in the house, and it's like the light returned even when there was no light.
Wow, very nice.
Time for a negative memory.
Yeah, it's just like
I'm trying to think what are like Orpheus's like where does his hubris lie?
Where does this hubris lie? Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna have this one be really petty.
Please.
Love, do you remember when you refused to let me braid your hair because it was getting in the way of all of my work?
Oh my god, yeah, I do remember.
No, don't braid it.
I do remember we had a huge fight because I said that if my hair was getting in your way, it was a sign that you were working too much and were not spending enough time with me.
This is so real.
This is, yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Cool. Positive memory on my part. Oh man. Okay. Uh, Love, do you remember the first time you cooked for me, and it was a dish of things that you had from your farm itself, and it was the first time I had. It was the first time I had seen something go from the ground to pot to plate, and I realized that there was a magic in that I too had to learn, and I asked you if you could teach me.
I do remember. I remember you attempting to help, and I insisted on you sitting out.
No, not again.
I insisted on you sitting out because I wanted you to just enjoy everything and, have some time for yourself because you really don't get a lot of time like that.
Yeah, too busy musicianing. God, that's not a thing.
Too busy singing, too busy writing lyrics.
Is this a job? I can't tell.
I think it's my turn for a positive memory.
Yeah.
Love, do you remember when we went stargazing?
Oh.
And you showed me some constellations that I didn't know about. And I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, I pointed out the star that was the arrow of my father, and I do remember that, and it was, yeah, it was a beautiful, clear night, and yeah, I hope we can have more of those. I guess. Cool. It's my turn to do a positive memory. It's so complicated one. It is. I'm really trying to make this as complicated as possible.
No, we like that.
Um, uh, uh, do you remember when it was do you remember when it rained and rained and rained, and it seemed like the water would not stop, and our poor house was threatened to be washed away into the river, and the crops seemed like they'd be destroyed, and the animals were crying out, and there was thunder and lightning, and I who can't swim and am so terrified of the water, I was scared of drowning, and you comforted me, and yeah.
I do remember when it was raining and raining and raining, and the thunder and lightning outside scared you so. I tried to light some candles to bring in more warmth and light into our house, and I, tried to comfort you in a scary time like this, and we both ended up falling asleep like that, just comforting each other during a thunderstorm.
And we didn't die, which was amazing.
And we didn't die.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh God, it's my turn. Huh. Love, do you remember when the villagers threw threw a small like gathering for the summer solstice, and I found out I was allergic to what was I allergic to? Something.
Oh my god.
To apricots.
Yeah.
And you helped me get back home safe.
Yeah. I do remember. You look like an apricot yourself, but sorry. No. I am actually not sure what an apricot
Just
looks
calling
like.
the woman you love an apricot.
Is that a bad thing? I'm genuinely unsure. I'm gonna immediately
fuzzy,
just.
Are apricots fuzzy? No, those are peaches. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up apricot just to be sure that I'm imagining the right
I
thing.
only know dried apricots. I love dried apricots.
Okay, like apricots are like just really nice fruit. Like they don't look weird at all.
But apparently, I look like great.
No, because puffed up, like just like in the throes of an allergy. This is a happy memory. Let's stay on track here. And but it was just a minor. It was just a minor inconvenience, and we were quite happy to leave the gathering because they were trying to make us dance, and I don't think we dance.
We don't.
I say,
with,
yeah, we don't.
With your hair and my clumsy feet, we don't dance.
So it was a timely allergy.
Alexa, play "I Don't Dance" from the High School Musical 2 soundtrack.
Oh wow. Oh god. I think the irony is this dance while they sing that song, right? Like I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they do. and they're playing baseball also.
Yeah, I mean all the three pillars of that movie. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we can stop here because we have the higher echelon of 5 positive memories.
Okay.
So as since we shared 5 positive memories, that is like the epitome of like a good ending. So as Orpheus, keeps walking and steps into like the brightness of the mortal realm, Orpheus takes 2 quick steps away from the entrance to the underworld, anticipating if Eurydice followed him through, and is careful not to look back. Orpheus holds his breath, desperate with hope, and they finally feel someone take their hand, and he turns to see Eurydice's smiling face. The two stand together and take in the new light of a new day in their new lives.
Wow.
Yay!
Yeah, we have a happy ending because I
we
think
have the most happy ending.
Yeah. God, this was. It's a game that I would not give harm like that.
The thing about like giving harm is, if you don't give enough harm, winning is very easy.
That's true. It's a game that you have to kind of modulate for yourself. But before I just get into full design brain, do you want to do the denouement?
The denouement is more of like, what happens after we've come back from the underworld. So I would assume we would go back to the farm, even though Eurydice isn't bound to Demeter to farm. I feel like Eurydice would still continue to farm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I think what I would like to add to that is that that night, it's another kind of clear, starry night, and we go stargazing again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I would love to go stargazing, actually.
Okay. This was a thing I was into when I was 12. So
Same.
at some point I was like, yeah, I know all the constellations. Like I'm with it.
I know
Like
my stuff.
yeah, that's Orion. Like
That is my niche.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Thank you
but I
so
think
much,
that is
Dee.
the
That was
end
such a
of the
good game.
game.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
fun playing,
It
especially
was.
for Steve's charity stream. Thank you, Steve, for asking me to run a game for this wonderful cause. I'm so glad you reached out. I was very excited and anxious to do this.